Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a heated moment. Suddenly, a wave of anger or fear crashes over you. Your heart races. Words fly out before you even think. Then, regret hits hard, because you reacted instead of responding. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by your own emotions, like you're trapped in a storm you didn't choose to enter? That moment when anger, fear, or frustration explode from within and you instantly regret what you said or did, but it's already too late. What if I told you this isn't just a random failure of willpower? It's a mental trap, a prison built by your own mind, shaped by years of reacting instead of responding. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to their impulses, tossed like leaves in the wind of every passing emotion. But you don't have to be one of them. There's an ancient philosophy, Stoicism, that teaches us how to break free from this cycle. It shows us how to train our minds to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This is more than self-control. It's a radical rewiring of how your brain handles chaos and conflict, rooted not only in timeless wisdom but in dark psychology, the hidden power behind emotional manipulation and control. Today on Stoic Aura, we're going deep into the art of mastering your mind so you can become the calm in every storm. If you want to reclaim your power, drop a comment below with the phrase "mind over chaos." That's your first step to owning your mental fortress. And if you're ready to transform your life, smash that like button and stay with me, because what you learn here might just save you from your own worst enemy, your uncontrolled reaction. Before you can truly train your mind to respond instead of react, you need to understand the difference, because this is where most people get stuck. A reaction is automatic. It's a snap judgment that happens in a split second, driven by raw, unfiltered emotion. When someone insults you, cuts you off in traffic, or pushes your buttons, your brain immediately fires off a response before you even realize it. That instant flood of anger, fear, or frustration is your reptilian brain, the part wired for survival, not reason. This is the fight or flight system at work. Reactions are fast, yes, but they're also reckless. They hijack your rational mind and often lead to consequences you'll regret later. Maybe it's an argument you escalated, a harsh word you couldn't take back, or a decision made out of panic rather than clarity. These moments are the cracks in your mental armor. They expose you to manipulation, self-sabotage, and emotional exhaustion. Now, contrast this with a response. A response is a choice. It's thoughtful, deliberate, and grounded in reason. When you respond, you don't deny your emotions, you acknowledge them. You observe the anger or fear, but you don't let them control your actions. You pause, you breathe, you consider the consequences. Then you act from a place of strength and purpose. This might sound simple, but it's a skill that takes practice, and it's the very essence of freedom. When you respond instead of react, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your own mind instead of a slave to fleeting emotions. The Stoics taught us that our minds are our most important battlefield. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Epictetus reminded us that it's not what happens to us, but how we interpret what happens that shapes our lives. That moment between stimulus and action, that invisible pause, is where your power lives. It's a small space, but it can change everything. Here's why it matters so deeply. Every time you react, you lose a bit of your mental sovereignty. You give away control to the chaos inside and the people or situations outside. But every time you respond, you build resilience and mental clarity. You send a message to yourself and the world that you won't be manipulated by your emotions or others' provocations. I want you to reflect on a recent moment where you reacted impulsively. How did it feel afterward? Could you have chosen a different path if you'd taken even a breath? Right now, if you're ready to reclaim your mind, type "I choose response" in the comments. Let this be your mental anchor, a daily reminder that your actions are yours to command. Stay with me, because next we'll explore how ancient Stoic philosophy guides us to this mastery, and how dark psychology reveals the dangers of letting others hijack your reactions. To understand how to train your mind to respond and not react, we need to look deep into the roots of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that's not just about surviving life's chaos, but mastering it. The Stoics didn't see life as a series of random events happening to us. Instead, they believed that how we choose to interpret and act upon those events is everything. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, wrote in his Meditations that the obstacle itself is the way. This means challenges and provocations are not just tests, they're opportunities to exercise control over yourself. At the core of Stoicism is the idea that our minds are the gatekeepers of our freedom. We can't control what happens outside, insults, losses, betrayal, but we can control our judgment and reaction. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But here's the key: the Stoics didn't advocate for cold suppression of emotions or detachment from life. Instead, they practiced mindful engagement. They trained their minds to pause, to observe their emotions without immediately surrendering to them. This pause created space for reason, reflection, and choice. This mental discipline isn't easy. It takes constant practice, like a muscle you strengthen every day. The Stoics used daily journaling, reflection, and meditation on mortality to remind themselves what truly matters. They understood that without this inner work, our emotions become puppeteers, pulling strings we don't even see. This is where Stoicism aligns perfectly with the science of dark psychology. People who understand manipulation, those who study control and influence, know that the fastest way to dominate someone is to trigger their uncontrolled reactions, because when you react, you lose your power. Stoicism arms you against this by teaching you to cultivate emotional immunity, a calm mind that neither lashes out nor retreats in fear, but calmly assesses and acts. You become unshakable. Imagine walking into any conflict or challenge and knowing that no matter how intense the situation, your mind remains your own. That's the power of Stoic response. If you're feeling this truth resonate, comment below with "calm in chaos," a reminder that calmness is your greatest weapon. And don't forget to like this video if you want more powerful insights that train your mind like a Stoic warrior. Coming up next, we'll explore the dark side, how others use your reactions against you, and why mastering your response is essential for protecting yourself in a world full of emotional traps. Here's a harsh truth: uncontrolled reactions make you vulnerable, not just to yourself, but to others who know how to manipulate emotions. Dark psychology reveals how manipulators trigger your anger, fear, or guilt to control you. When you react impulsively, you give away your power. You become predictable, easy to influence, and trapped in their game. They use your raw emotions like puppeteers pulling strings. But when you respond thoughtfully, you break their control. You refuse to be baited, refuse to be a pawn in emotional warfare. Stoicism teaches this mental armor. Pausing before you act protects you from being exploited. If you want to stop being controlled by others, comment "unshakable mind" below. Like the video if you're ready to build this shield of calm and control. Next, we'll dive into what actually happens in your brain during reactions and responses, and how you can train it to work for you, not against you. To truly master your mind, you have to understand what's happening inside your brain the moment you react, versus when you respond. This is not just philosophy or psychology, it's biology. When you react impulsively, your brain's amygdala, the emotional center, hijacks the process. It triggers a survival mechanism called the fight, flight, or freeze response. This ancient system evolved to protect us from immediate threats like predators, but in modern life it often misfires. Someone's harsh words or an unexpected insult can light this fire, flooding your body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart races, your vision narrows, and your thinking shuts down. This is why reactions feel explosive, uncontrollable, and often destructive. In contrast, when you respond mindfully, your prefrontal cortex, the brain's rational control center, steps in. This area is responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and foresight. It evaluates the situation, weighs consequences, and chooses the best course of action. The delay between stimulus and response is your brain's way of switching from emotional hijack to rational command. Training your mind to respond means strengthening the prefrontal cortex's influence over the amygdala. This rewiring happens through consistent practice, mindfulness, breathing exercises, reflection. Over time, you build what neuroscientists call emotional regulation, allowing you to stay calm under pressure and act with intention. This is why Stoics emphasized the pause, that brief moment to observe your feelings before deciding what to do. It's literally your brain's built-in power switch, flipping you from reactive chaos to calm clarity. Imagine having this control during your toughest moments, the ability to not only survive conflict, but thrive in it, turning emotional storms into strategic advantage. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with "Brain over Bait," your pledge to own your reactions. Like this video if you want more science-backed wisdom to train your mind like a Stoic warrior. Next up, we'll dive into practical daily exercises to build this mental muscle and make response your default mode. How that you understand the power of responding over reacting. The question is, how do you build this skill every day? How do you train your mind to pause, observe, and choose? The Stoics gave us a toolkit of practical exercises designed to forge mental resilience and emotional control. Daily journaling. Every morning or night, write down your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Reflect on moments when you reacted impulsively and imagine how you could have responded instead. This self-awareness rewires your brain to catch those impulses early. Negative visualization. Imagine losing what you value or facing difficult scenarios. This isn't pessimism, but mental preparation. When challenges arise, you won't be caught off guard and your mind will be ready to respond calmly. Voluntary discomfort. Train your will by occasionally exposing yourself to discomfort. Cold showers, fasting, or challenging workouts. This builds discipline, so when real stress hits, your mind is trained to withstand it without panic. Mindful breathing. When emotions surge, focus on your breath. Even a few deep breaths create space between stimulus and action, allowing your rational mind to re-engage. Pause and question. Train yourself to ask, is this worth reacting to? How will my response affect me and others? This tiny habit shifts power from impulsivity to control. These exercises aren't magic, they require consistency. But with daily practice, your mental muscles grow stronger. The pause becomes natural. Your responses become calm, precise, and powerful. If you're ready to build this mental strength, comment "Strength in Stillness" below and like the video to join this journey. Next, we'll explore real-life stories where a calm response changed everything, and how you can apply this in your life. Understanding the power of responding rather than reacting is one thing, but seeing it in action is where the truth really hits home. History and everyday life are filled with moments where calm, thoughtful responses changed the course of events, sometimes saving lives, sometimes altering destinies. Take Nelson Mandela, for example. After spending 27 years imprisoned under brutal conditions, most would expect a bitter, reactive explosion of rage or revenge upon release. But Mandela chose a different path. He responded with forgiveness and wisdom, focusing on rebuilding a divided nation instead of reacting with anger. His calm response transformed South Africa and the world's view of justice and reconciliation. Or look at Marcus Aurelius himself. As Roman emperor, he faced constant wars, betrayals, and personal loss. His journal, Meditations, shows a man constantly training himself to pause, reflect, and respond with reason, even when surrounded by chaos. His leadership and philosophy have influenced millions for centuries. In everyday life, think about that moment when a driver cuts you off on the highway. The reactive mind might honk, yell, or make aggressive gestures, but a mindful response recognizes it as a momentary inconvenience, choosing calm instead of escalating conflict. This simple choice prevents stress, accidents, and lost focus. In personal relationships, responding instead of reacting can mean the difference between a fight that destroys trust and a conversation that builds understanding. It's the difference between saying something in the heat of the moment that wounds and choosing words that heal. Each of these examples shows the power of the pause, the invisible moment when you decide your future. When you respond, you create space for solutions, peace, and growth. When you react, you give away control and often worsen the problem. Now, think about your own life. What if you practiced this pause daily? How many conflicts could you avoid? How many opportunities for growth could you unlock? If you're ready to embrace this power, comment below with pause, respond, rise, and like the video to commit to this path. How to build your mental muscle consistently, because this isn't a one-time fix, it's a lifelong journey. Mastering the art of responding, not reacting, isn't something that happens overnight. It's like training a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. But like any muscle, it can only grow through consistent effort and discipline. Every time you catch yourself before reacting impulsively, you're doing a mental workout. Every pause, every breath, every choice to respond thoughtfully instead of lashing out is a rep building your mental strength. But this takes repetition and patience. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius didn't become a master of himself in a day. He journaled daily, reminding himself to stay grounded. Epictetus taught that setbacks and failures aren't reasons to quit, but opportunities to learn and grow. So, don't expect perfection. There will be moments when you slip, when your emotions get the better of you. That's normal. What matters is getting back up and continuing the practice. This resilience is the cornerstone of discipline. Create rituals that reinforce this discipline. Morning reflections, setting intentions for the day, mindfulness breaks, and evening reviews. These small daily habits compound, making the pause your natural first response, not a forced effort. Remember, your mental muscle grows strongest when challenged. The more you face stressful or provoking situations and choose response over reaction, the more your brain rewires itself for calm control. If you're committed to this path, type daily discipline in the comments and like this video to stay motivated. Mastering the art of responding, not reacting, isn't something that happens overnight. It's like training a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. But like any muscle, it can only grow through consistent effort and discipline. Every time you catch yourself before reacting impulsively, you're doing a mental workout. Every pause, every breath, every choice to respond thoughtfully instead of lashing out is a rep building your mental strength. But this takes repetition and patience. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius didn't become a master of himself in a day. He journaled daily, reminding himself to stay grounded. Epictetus taught that setbacks and failures aren't reasons to quit, but opportunities to learn and grow. So, don't expect perfection. There will be moments when you slip, when your emotions get the better of you. That's normal. What matters is getting back up and continuing the practice. This resilience is the cornerstone of discipline. Create rituals that reinforce this discipline. Morning reflections, setting intentions for the day, mindfulness breaks, and evening reviews. These small daily habits compound, making the pause your natural first response, not a forced effort. Remember, your mental muscle grows strongest when challenged. The more you face stressful or provoking situations and choose response over reaction, the more your brain rewires itself for calm control. If you're committed to this path, type daily discipline in the comments and like this video to stay motivated. Next, we'll explore empowering affirmations and unique mantras that can anchor your mindset during the toughest moments. One of the most powerful tools to strengthen your ability to respond instead of react is the use of affirmations and personal mantras. These aren't just empty words, they are mental anchors that pull you back when emotions threaten to pull you under. The Stoics often repeated phrases to themselves to ground their minds. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Epictetus said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." Today, you can create your own unique phrases that resonate deeply with your personal journey. Something simple yet profound like, "I am calm, I am in control." Pause, then act with purpose. "My response defines me." "Strength in stillness." "Master of my mind, master of my fate." Repeat these daily, especially when facing challenges. Write them down, say them aloud, or meditate on them. This repetition rewires your brain, making calm responses automatic. I want you to take a moment right now. Type your own empowering mantra in the comments. Something that reminds you to pause and choose your response. This builds a community of strength and support around this practice. If you find value in this, smash that like button to help others discover this power. Next, we'll wrap up with a final powerful reminder and a call to action that will keep you on this path every day. You've just taken a powerful step toward mastering your mind, training yourself to respond instead of react. Remember, this isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of growth, discipline, and inner freedom. Every time you pause before acting, you build strength no one can take from you. The Stoics walked this path, and now so can you. But it doesn't end here. To truly transform, you need to commit, to keep learning, practicing, and growing. That's why I invite you to explore all the videos on this channel. Each one is designed to deepen your understanding, sharpen your mental edge, and help you become unshakable in the face of life's storms. So here's what I want you to do right now. Like this video if you're ready to own your mind. Comment below with your unique empowering phrase, your daily anchor. Subscribe to Stoic Aura and hit the notification bell so you never miss the wisdom that can change your life. Watch the next video right now. Your mind's next training session is waiting. Your journey to mental mastery starts with small, consistent steps, and this community is here to support you every step of the way. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Train your mind to respond, not react, and become the calm, unstoppable force you were meant to be. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay wise, stay unshakable.